Welcome back guys to another one of my Flash videos in my review of episode 2 of season 4. So the Flash is most definitely delivering on the lighter front. We've been promised a lighter tone, more fun season in comparison to the darker, grimmer, and gloomier season 3. But what I do think is this will need to be toned down a bit. A little bit of seriousness wouldn't hurt in making sure the show doesn't end up being more of a shallow sequence of events. Now before I dig deeper into the events of the second episode, let me remind you that I've got a $25 Amazon gift card giveaway running through all my DC TV videos. And all you've got to do to be eligible to win is be a subscriber and leave a relevant comment down below. I will be announcing the winner on the first DC TV video that I upload on or after the 23rd of October. But circling back to this week's episode of The Flash, which also happens to be titled Mixed Signals. So this episode operated on 3 major arcs: Kilgore, the villain of the week, Barry and Iris, Trouble in Paradise, and Therapy, and Barry's new suit. But besides those arcs though, there are so many little details that are very noticeable about season 4 in general, and episode 2 in specific. Caitlin, in control of her powers, or well, relatively in control, makes her more fun, funny, and less stressed. This of course is as opposed to how she spent most of the 3rd season, worried she would become the worst version of herself. However though, the end of the premiere made it clear Killer Frost is still in there, and there is this momentary struggle for control on this episode as well. Now on another note, and for a moment there while watching this episode, I was planning to complain a lot about Iris on this review. As a matter of fact, I was planning to start this video by stating we've got a Felicity problem, as in Iris was becoming some version of Arrow Season 4 Felicity, annoyingly dramatic. But that was up until the point where she fully opened up in the therapist's office, and how Barry left her, in reference to the finale of the 3rd season and him walking into the Speedforce. Now that right there felt pretty understandable, and was quite the needed break from all the funny flying all over the place. But still, I do have a huge reservation about Iris being the smartest one in the room, programming shit on the premiere, coming up with the one idea that would save Barry. I mean seriously, just give her her comic book, extremely good investigative journalist role and get over with it. Now with regard to this part, don't get me wrong here and start raging in the comments. I don't hate either Felicity or Iris, I just have a problem with the writing for them. But moving on to Kilgore, he was quite the interesting villain, even though he was made into a variation of what he really is in the comics. In the comics, Kilgore is still a Flash villain, only instead of being a metahuman, Kilgore is just a sentient computer virus with high hacking capabilities. But that being said, here are my usual quick stray comments and Easter eggs for the second episode of The Flash. Number 1. The title of the second episode, Mixed Signals, seems to refer to more than one thing. Now those include, but are not necessarily limited to, the Barry and Iris relationship, the Cisco and Gypsy relationship, and Kilgore's abilities. I kind of like how the titles of the Flash and Supergirl episodes this week kind of summarizes both episodes in 1 or 2 words. Number 2. You probably all noticed, but except for Iris doing the My Name is Iris West narration on the premiere, they seem to have let go of that trope at the beginning of the episodes for all 4 Arrowverse series. There were none on the 2 episodes of Supergirl so far, none on both the Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow premieres, and none on the second episode of The Flash. Number 3. Mayor Queen is the Green Arrow is the headline to the newspaper in the therapist's office. Now we all know that time-wise both shows kind of operate in parallel, so it makes perfect sense that piece of news goes viral all over the place. The thing that doesn't make sense though is that we saw minimal reaction on Barry's end on that front throughout the rest of the episode. It just felt like the message from that scene is, hey, we're connected to the Arrowverse. Well, hey back, we know that. But moving on to number 4, oh, Jon Snow died. He's alive. Now besides the obvious Game of Thrones reference there, I definitely wish I had Barry's ability to go through so many episodes of the series in a matter of seconds. I'd definitely be going through all 7 seasons every single day. Number 5. Now seeing mentioning Barry is 6 months and 5 minutes late, that is a total reference to the fact that the comic book version of Barry is always late to work. It is as well something that is especially highlighted in so many issues in the current Rebirth reboot. Number 6. Now I don't really know if it is me, but does anyone else think Wally is becoming more useless by the episode? There's the fact that he's in less action, and when he's there, he's more of a punching bag. There's also the fact that Barry's doing all the heavy lifting with way too much ease in comparison to him. And finally, it's pretty noticeable that he's only being used to crack jokes left and right. Number 7. Now while it was fun watching the therapy session and the new suit giving Barry a lot of operational trouble, I don't think this extreme lightheartedness is gonna be cutting it every week. The Flash is in serious need of finding balance there, and they could only do certain jokes once, maybe 2 times, and then it won't be funny anymore. Besides that, and on a personal level, if I wanted to watch a full-on comedy, I'd be watching The Big Bang Theory, Young Sheldon, Superstore, The Mick, The Goldbergs, and the list goes on and on basically. Number 8. We got to see Gypsy and her relationship with Cisco, which seemed to be going so well since Barry left, and up until the events of this episode. And just like Wally, Gypsy on this episode acted as nothing more than a comic relief. But in the middle of this whole Gypsy-Cisco dynamic, I did love how Caitlin explains to Cisco how Gypsy didn't get him having to work at all. When a girl says she gets it, what she really means is she doesn't get it at all. True story, by the way. But let's move on to number 9. Iris, run Barry, run. That's an old callback to the many times we've heard this statement over so many seasons, either addressed at Barry or another speedster. There was the season 1 finale with Eobard Wells going, "Run Barry, run," Harry's "Run Jesse, run," and HR's "Run Wallace, run," both of which were in season 3. But finally, number 10. The question of how Kilgore got his powers was left hanging there as the episode came to an end. But I'm going to be taking a wild guess here and assume the show went in a different direction with the effects of the Speedforce storm. So basically, what I'm thinking here is these powers have been granted to him and the others he referred to during the Speedforce storm on the finale of Season 3. On another note, it does seem that Clifford DeVoe has a lot of patience and is playing a very long con. It does sound as well that up until the point where he fully reveals himself to Barry, we'll only see him on that final scene of almost every single episode. But that, guys, was the last on my list, so let me know in the comments what you thought of the second episode of The Flash Season 4. Do you agree with me that they're taking this whole lighter tone thing a bit too far? Do you agree with my theory that Kilgore's powers, along with those of the others, are probably all a product of the Speedforce storm? Now you can let me know as well if you liked this video by dropping it a much appreciated like, and while you're at it, you can always subscribe and enable notifications for my future videos. And until I see you next time, thank you all for watching and have a good one.